Hello, this is Greg Gum, and today I'm going to show you how to integrate Aurelia with an MVC application. All right, so let's get started. We're going to say new project, and I'm going to drop it into a folder called I, and I'm going to call the project I, just to keep things really simple. Say OK. And now notice I can select two different templates, the ASP.NET 4.5.2 or the new ASP.NET 5 preview. I'm going to stick with the 4.5.2 at this time. Alright, but I do want to select the Web API because most likely if you're doing a Aurelia app, you're going to be wanting to be hitting data on the server through an API controller. So that'll just set that up for us. All right, and then we say OK. And that's going to create our project structure for us. So the first thing we're going to do when this thing fires up is go over and create the index page for Aurelia. So as I'm sure you know, if we come over here to Home and say Add View, and we'll call this Aurelia. And as we can see, we have just a little bit of data there. And I'm going to come over here to my route config and set this for Aurelia. That way it fires up every time and I don't have to navigate to it via the bar. It just makes the demo a bit easier. Alright, so now of course over in our controller, home, we're going to add our Aurelia page. Alright, so that's now wired up, and if we fire it up, we should see our Aurelia page. And we do. Excellent. So, that's step one. Now, the next thing we need to do is add our Aurelia bits. So, let us do that now. I'm going to open up File Explorer. I'm holding down Shift, right clicking, open a command window. And we've already got JSPM installed, of course. And first we're going to initialize JSPM. And I'm just going to accept all the defaults here. Yes, 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 yes. That's done. Now let's install some Aurelia bits. JSPM install Aurelia framework. And it's going to go out and find those Aurelia bits. And that's done. Now we need the Aurelia bootstrapper. JSPM install Aurelia bootstrapper. Now notice I'm doing all of this at the root of my directory. It's possible to get fancier with your paths and whatnot, but for the sake of this demo, I keep things as simple as possible. Alright, so now let's go back here to our Aurelia view. So this is now effectively our Aurelia index page. And what we need here is first to show all files. And we're going to add we're going to add this config to the solution. All right, and I'm not going to add this JSPM packages folder to the solution because it adds quite a few different files and it's not really necessary, and it just starts slowing down the whole project. So I just leave that excluded, and shouldn't be in source control anyways, but we want to reference to system.js, and we want a link to our config. And now let us get jiggy with it here. System.import Aurelia Bootstrapper. Great. All right, so we're going to fire that up and make sure all of that is in place and that it's working as we expect it to. Now we're not going to see anything on the screen, so I am pressing F12. And come over here to the console, refresh, look at the network, and as we can see, we're getting the Bootstrapper and it's firing all of that up for us. So we're making progress here. Excellent. So what's the next thing we need? Next thing we need to do is tell Aurelia where it is that we want our app to appear in our view, and that's right here. So we're going to create a div, and in that div we're going to say Aurelia app, and that's where that's going to live. And we also want to use this to specify our Aurelia configuration file, which is going to be main. Now we haven't actually created that main yet, so let's do that now. Alright, so we need a little code over there, and over here on the Aurelia.io site, I'm going to grab this code right here from the startup and configuration section and go back over here and drop it in. So by convention, it's going to set the root to app.js, and we haven't created that yet, so let's save this. And let's create that. For right now, I'm going to leave this empty. I'm just going to say export class app. Just a shell because it needs something in order to run. And then I'm going to add the HTML page, wipe out all of this nonsense, say Aurelia has started. Alright, so let's see how that's going here. If it gets all the way through the boot process, we'll see that message. Now, I didn't do one thing that I normally do on these projects, so let's do that now. I'm going to come back over here. What I was trying to do was fire up and show us this actual page, and that's not what we want. We want the home page, this start action, to always be the home page, whatever that happens to be. Alright, so that in place, now I can fire it up. And Aurelia has started. So let's look at F12 and see what's going on there. Over here in our console, we can see everything started up, and we have Aurelia, and it imported resources for app.html. In other words, we fired it up. So what we have here is just a very simple example of dropping Aurelia into an ASP.NET MVC application. As you can see, it's really no different than just a standard standalone Aurelia application. But, you know, that's just an example to show you that it can be done. And frankly, wasn't all that difficult. All right. Thanks for watching.